nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin to lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to PSGL F2. We're here this evening for round number 4 of the season, and it is Viva Las Vegas. It is the newest addition to the Formula 1 calendar. It is the Las Vegas Strip Circuit where we head to this evening. It's a pleasure to be with you here on this Monday evening for PSGL F2. As per usual, my name is Evan Dalton. We would usually have Tymon Den Blanken alongside me, but unfortunately he's getting his snowboard license. Not messing, that's what he's doing, instead of commentating PSGL here this evening. So make sure to send hate mail his direction. But no, it's a pleasure to be with you here. And hopefully we do have a fabulous race coming for you this evening. We've got plenty to talk about after the break week. So let's get straight into things then, shall we, ladies? Apologies, folks. It wouldn't be PSGL F2 if something did not go wrong, and presumably you have not heard a word I've said for the intro of this, I would believe. But anyways, nonetheless, we have a brilliant evening coming up here in Las Vegas. Here is your championship standings ahead of that. It is Enelon Newt who is in first ahead of F4 Zorzo. Zorzo, a man maybe who we did not expect to be this high up in the championship, but Zorzo for Mercedes has been performing so far this season. Of course, he came 9th last season in PSGL F3, so impressive to see him performing on the big stage. Matteo then is in third after his win at the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar. Ian Van Unen is in fourth, of course. He has only finished one race. He won it. He had wheel issues in Qatar, which caused him to DNF, and he did have a no start in Hungary, but we do believe he's all okay here this evening, and he can race, which we're very much looking forward to that. It is OP Covers then in 5th with Dirk in 6th, Skyline in 7th with Johan then in 8th position, and then it is TF10 Dark in 9th with Shizu Noel in 10th, our Hungarian driver off the back of his home Grand Prix. We don't have a graphic for it, unfortunately, on the stream, but Of course, to remind you of our official race results in Hungary, it was Dirk who took the win ahead of Covers, Skyline, Enzo, Dark, Dalles, Macho, Newt, Zane, and or Matteo. It was then Diogo Silva, Johan Kart Racer, Danielle, Jacob Conius, Zorzo, Ghost Kings, and then unfortunately our non-finishers were Noel, Nils, and Max von der Geest. But what do you have to look forward to here this evening, then, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it is the Las Vegas Strip circuit, the 6.120 kilometer circuit, 3.803 miles, I should say, with 17 corners. It has 11 to the left and 5 to the right. The longest straight on the circuit is, of course, the Las Vegas Strip straight, which is it is at 1.9 kilometers or 1.2 miles if you are living in the United States. The lap record actually doesn't belong to Max Verstappen, just like pretty much every lap record we've had this season. It belongs to Oscar Piastri with a 1:35.490. That was the fastest lap of the 2023 race. Of course, we had the inaugural race held on November 18th this year. It was only a couple of weeks ago. You definitely don't forget that one already. But we're just getting ready to go here this evening for PSGL, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts so far coming into this race in the stream chat. We have a beautiful poll that we've had 3 votes on so far. We have 67% voting for other, and then 33% for Ian Van Unen. So very interesting to see your thoughts ahead of qualifying here this evening. If I was to go for a pick for poll, I wouldn't know who to go for because we've never had a PSGL race around this track. We've only had one Formula 1 race around this track. We had 2 back in Caesars Palace, which were won by Alan Jones and Mikel Alboreto for Williams Ford and Tyrrell Ford, respectively. That was Caesars Palace. We do actually pass where that track was here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's around turn 5, if you're interested. Kind of where the big sphere is, the big MSG sphere. But IndyCar raced here as well, of course. They had former world champion Mario Andretti win around there. That was also when it was Caesars Palace. Then Will Power raced on another variation of Las Vegas. So despite it being a modern track, by modern, extremely modern, we actually have 3 different variations of track here, ladies and gentlemen, which is really, really intriguing. RT Frank in the stream chat saying, my goat Philip, that's who his tip is for. Paul Philip is, of course, in the AlphaTauri for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. The 2 AlphaTauri drivers are Ian Van Unen and Philip for this evening's action. No Shizu Noel for this evening, as he's off doing Shizu Noel things, pretty much. We should hopefully be getting ready to go fairly soon, ladies and gentlemen. Would like to remind you to check out our title sponsors, GT Omega. You can see the logo in the background. Make sure to check them out. We are very thankful for all here in PSGL, so big thanks to them. In terms of the championship so far here in PSGL F2, it's been a really intriguing one. It is Newt who leads it. First time Newt has led a championship in quite a while. Newt has not won a race in PSGL for 4 seasons, so it would be unbelievable if he was able to get a win here this evening. It would be something of fairy tales potentially, but hopefully we can get something like that. It's a big gamble if you want to win here in PSGL, so Newt would love to win it around the track based on casinos. So we have 18 drivers for this evening. I was looking at attendance earlier on in the evening, and it was looking like it was going to be a lot lower than that, so very glad to see such high attendance here this evening. But Las Vegas, it is a new place for motorsport, seemingly. It's very famous for its casinos. It was founded on May 15th, 1905, in the Mojave Desert, in the state of Nevada. And that is a bit of history behind Las Vegas. It was, you might have seen that famous photo that went around Twitter and Instagram for a bit. It was just a blank desert with a sign. I think it was advertising one of the big hotels, the Venetian or Caesars Palace or one of them anyways, but it was advertising it, and it was saying that it's going to be big. It is big. We're going to have a big race here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready to go. Once again, just a reminder of your track map. Before we get into the swing of things in qualifying, we will be under the Nevada night sky. Track temperatures going to be extremely cold because it will be under that night sky. And If you're not a geography nerd like myself, deserts very warm during the day, very cold during the night because there's no cloud cover. There's nothing of that sort. But that is your reminder of your circuit here this evening. A very vivid track map, courtesy of the Codemasters game and courtesy of Jess, who put it in the assets folder. But that's enough waffling from me, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get into the swing of things here. We had a slight 6-minute delay for qualifying for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, round number 4 of the Season 30 Championship. But now we can get things underway. I do apologise if I sound a little bit croaky. I've come down with a bit of a cold, and of course during commentary it starts to hit you. But 17 minutes 30 on the clock. Drivers are just getting their setups ready. You're going to be running Monza level wings here, as low as you possibly can. We're going to see an awful lot of slipstreaming down that Las Vegas Boulevard. And another thing to note here is this pit exit. The white line there is technically part of the racing line, so drivers might want to drift out of the pit lane. And Javen Bussell reminded them, the 2 seasons ago F2 champion, reminded the drivers on Twitter today not to cross that. So I'm going to imagine that he received a bit of a penalty for such acts, but we will wait and see. You can see we're looking at Shizu Fede and Shizu Macho, both running in unison. They're not in the same car, despite it looking like it. One's in a Ferrari, one's in an Alfa Romeo. They're passing Caesar's Forum there to your left-hand side, and you can see the beautiful MSG sphere. It's got a picture of the world on it, a picture of the globe. Although for most of the race weekend, it had a smiley face. It'd be cool to see the smiley face here this evening for PSGL, but unfortunately Mr. Smiley Man has gone under. He's not been able to perform when the lights were brightest, but it's a really interesting circuit here in Las Vegas. Make sure to put your thoughts on this circuit in the stream chat below. I'd love to hear what different people think about this circuit, because I certainly have varied opinions. I think driving it, terrible circuit, horrible, hate driving it. But we're going to have an absolute spectacle here this evening, and I can almost guarantee it. We're going to have an absolute spectacle, because no matter how quick you are around here, it's very easy to catch up. We even saw that in real Formula 1 with Max Verstappen. If you get one bad run onto Las Vegas Boulevard, if you get a bad exit out of the Wynn Hotel corner at turn 12, you are absolutely screwed for 1.9 kilometers. So very, very intriguing. You see the drivers just limiting their outlap pace because they want to make sure that they have full battery for their hot lap. But let's get things underway then, shall we? It's going to be Shizu Macho who gets qualifying underway for the first ever PSGL Las Vegas Grand Prix here in PSF2. It'll be Macho who brings us round turn 17 onto the main straight and up towards the Harbour Island Apartments. This is the tricky first left-hand corner. You break at about the 50-metre board there. You can see him just picking up that curb on the inside and running very close to that wall. One of the trickier corners here. Could see a few spins through here in qualifying and the race. Not a lot of grip through that corner, certainly at this stage of the session. But here comes Macho down towards the right-hander at Caesar's Forum. This is turn number 5. Very tricky through here. It is a bit of an overtaken opportunity, but you've got to be very careful. That wall approaches you a lot quicker than you think on the outside. And then braking for the left-hander at the MSG Sphere. This is the one of few chicanes, or one of many chicanes, I should say, on the circuit, and then the flick into the left-hander. Very reminiscent of Singapore, this section of the track. That's the left-hander at the elevated monorail, and then you head down Sands Avenue past the Palazzo Venetian and in towards the left-hander at the Wynn Hotel. This is turn number 12. You got to pile on the brakes here and just flick the car in. Oh, gets very tight on the outside. The Ferrari of Macho actually nicking the outside there. As do apologise if there's no game audio for the time being and you are hearing every little thing. We should have some cars roaring in now. Yes, there is some car audio hopefully for you, ladies and gentlemen. But back with the hot lap of Shizu Macho, braking then for the final corner. That was down Las Vegas Boulevard and past Planet Hollywood and down up towards the left-hander at Top Golf. Don't ask me why it's called that. I presume there's something there, but Macho, what's going to be the banker time? It's going to be 1:31.1 for Shizu Macho. That could well be beaten here this evening, but we'll have to wait and see. Is Dirk on a push lap? Yes, he absolutely is. Is he going to beat that 1:31? Fede goes a second slower. Here comes Dirk across the start-finish line. He's going to go top of the timing, 1:30.9. So that actually was a decent lap from Macho. Tales then goes to third. These drivers, of course, practice an awful lot, but there's nothing like a session. You're going to have... Well, Any Irish person definitely agrees with that, but there's nothing like a race session. You got to make sure you perform here. Here comes Van Unen across the start-finish line. Good enough for 5th on this occasion. For Ian Van Unen, he's going to have to improve on that if he wants to take pole position. Championship leader Newfoundland goes to 6th. We have Diogo Silva as well on a hot lap, as Gilles Enzo riding for the final couple of corners now up towards turn 17, which I just got to say is an absolute beautiful corner to look at, this left-hander at turn 17. It is fabulous. We'll see Gilles Enzo flying through here now. He'll go 11th. Not a great attempt on that one for Gilles Enzo. Here comes Fio Zorzo. Second in the championship, of course, is the Mercedes-man across the start-finish line. It'll be 6th in session. Top 6, or top 7, I should say, separated by less than 0.2 of a second at this time being. And that's quite good for a 6+ kilometre circuit. Diogo Silva then goes to 12th position. We have our newest reserve here, OP Flopman, heading in towards the left-hander. Oh, that's very wide for Flopman. He did very well to keep that one within the limits of the track. Unfortunately, no time here for Gilles Ghost King, so the last man we are waiting on is OP Flopman. Doesn't opt to get the tactical slipstream off the Alfa Romeo down Las Vegas Boulevard, and he's going to just keep to his own devices in towards the left-hander and Planet Hollywood, past the Villaggio Fountains, and then in towards this left-hander, rounding through here, keeps close to the walls. You can actually spin through that corner if you get your traction completely wrong, so you've got to make sure you nail that. And then down towards the start-finish line for OP Flopman. What's this lap going to be for the McLaren? It's good enough for 9. So we've 17 times on the board, 16 of them within 1 second, 7 of them within 0.2 of a second, and it seems like Dirk has had a bit of an issue heading through there. That's an AlphaTauri on a push lap. No, that's Philip heading back to the pit lane. He was Frank's choice for pole position. Sabala saying Macho takes pole. That's an intriguing one, and certainly I'd have to agree with the optimism there on Sabala's regard, because Macho is putting in good laps. He was the first to go, remember, so he had the worst track conditions statistically out of anyone, and he is still 3rd in session, so that's very positive if your name is Shizu Macho. But 17 times on the board, first time round, is very impressive. There's only one man within the 130s. The rest of them, apart from Fede, rest relatively close to the 131s. And you can see there, yeah, Fede, the only man in the 32s. So, rather intriguing. In terms of tyre strategy, we've 25 laps here this evening, so it'll be interesting to see what the drivers go for. My guess would be potentially a soft medium. I'm not too sure how these drivers will fare with tyre wear, because of course they are exceptional at their craft, but we will have to wait and see. Soft medium could be an option. The hard tyre not going to be great around here due to limited warm-up. The Las Vegas Strip circuit does not like warm conditions, and that is going to be something these drivers might learn here this evening. If you're just tuning in, of course, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, welcome. This is PSGL F2. You're watching on the PlayStation platform. My name is Evan Dalton. It's a pleasure to bring you the action here from Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it is just myself this evening, and no Tymon or reserve driver available. If you enjoy the action so much here in F2, which you absolutely will, it's going to be a barnstormer, make sure to check out PSGL F1, which is coming up at 8 o'clock. That's James Head and Byron Hale will be taking you through the action. F3 also at 8 o'clock, and I believe F4 is at the same time as us, but I'm not going to encourage you to leave this stream. You can watch F4 after the race. But the first man we went through a lap with was Shizu Macho. He's going to be the next man to go on the second run here today. He's put on a fresh set of Pirelli's finest soft compound tyres, and he's going to give us another tour around the Las Vegas Strip circuit. Let's just take this one from an off-board perspective and see how the car handles through here. It's slow through these first couple of corners, and then you hit the Rochelle Avenue intersection. Well, it's not much of an intersection. I'm sure it's very busy on a weekday, but not much of an intersection here today. And you can see the daunting Caesar's Palace in the background. And then the right-hander, that wall creeps up on you, and oh, just look how close the Ferrari gets. Macho on the limit through here. Let's see a first sector split time. That's coming up relatively soon. The third sector is extremely short on this circuit. Second sector is mighty long. Here comes the first sector split, though. It's just on Covell Lane. Oh, apologies, not on Covell Lane. This is Sands Avenue, of course. But 43.3 in the first sector for Shizu Macho. It's not enough for pole position. It's enough to take second, and that's not going to be enough for pole position. Oh! We may not be in Tokyo, but the drifting still applies here in Las Vegas. And that's the lap down the drain, unfortunately, for Shizu Macho. But it's a clip through his Twitter account, if anything. Brilliant save from the Ferrari. He is flooring it down the Las Vegas Boulevard just to get in front of the traffic, it seems. But he's going to try to get back to the pit lane, unless there's 8/10 magically here in this last sector. But we watched his first lap, and I don't think there is yet. He's going to pull off to the left-hand side. There is a whole bunch of traffic behind him. I said there'd be no traffic. Maybe there is, as we're looking at OP covers heading down Covell Lane in towards the right-hander at Caesars Forum. And my goodness me, well, one, I'm overusing these terrible corner names, and two, was that a brilliant save? That was a brilliant save from Macho. That was fabulous. James saying, evening to my favourite Irishman. Don't tell more games. Hello, James. Welcome to PSGL F2. That is the man who we were saying is on F1 at 8 o'clock. Make sure you check that out. I'm sure there'll be many an Elvis Presley pun there this evening. But we're looking at covers. There'll be more times going in before covers. This was the corner where it all went wrong for Macho just a moment ago. Goes a lot better for one of our championship protagonists. His first real good race was last time out in Budapest. He didn't have much luck there, as Danielle actually goes quickest, 1:30.9. We'll stick with covers for the time being, though. But yeah, he took second in Budapest. Felt he could have had the win, but had to defend impressively on that hard tire. In towards the left-hander here, Planet. Hollywood, I should say. Gets the exit nailed. No, he does not. Ew, just about stops that before the wall. Does covers. Traction was really good initially. Always got to be careful reversing over a live racetrack. He judged that one okay, though. Thankfully, all okay for covers. But that could have gone very wrong. Could have been in the wall, potentially out of qualifying. Here comes TF10 Dirk, the man who won last time out in Budapest. Aston Martin have won Qatar and have won Budapest. He's actually into the pit lane, so he's not going to be able to get an improvement on this lap. Let's see. Championship leader, the German of NLR Youth. What can he do heading through the final couple of corners and up towards the start-finish line? He has the vicious turn 70. No, he's into the pits as well. Okay, gentlemen, could we complete a hot lap when I go on board with you? Thank you very much. Flopman is 3/10 of a second down. Shizu Zane is 4 seconds down. Philip, what's his first sector like? I have a feeling this isn't a push lap. No, or is it a push lap? No, certainly isn't. 4 seconds down is Philip. The second runs have not been a very profitable endeavour for this grid. Danielle seems to be the only man who actually got a lap in, let alone a quick one, as Ghost Kings as well grinding to a halt, heading down what's the name of that one? That is Harmon Avenue. Sorry, I had to check my track map. Heading down Harmon Avenue. We have Macho, though, who's actually come out of the pit lane to go for a third run very early. We've 4 minutes and 47. It's not a long out lap, because, well, look at the track map. It's all straight lines, pretty much. As James saying, no puns from me tonight. Guaranteed there'll be at least 2. There'll be at least 2. But Shizu Macho is out of the pit lane again. Zorzo wasn't able to set a proper lap on his endeavour. So it's back to the Ferrari man. Shizu Macho, the Dutchman, was P19 in F2 last season. He's not going to like me for saying that one, but we're looking at him again. My goodness me, are Shell and Santander and Ray-Bans enjoying the coverage they're getting here on PSGL F2 this evening, because it seems like Macho is constantly out of sync. And he is the man who we've been looking at for the majority of this session. He nailed this section of the track, was improving by 0.9. No, 0.09, apologies. Last time round on his second run. This is his third lap, and we'll see where he goes. In towards the left-hander then. At the elevated monorail, you can see it just running over the circuit there. The first sector was good the last time. What's it like this as he comes up towards the sector split? Not as much as an improvement. Still purple. He's, of course, chasing Danielle's lap this time, not T10 Dirks. This is where it all went wrong last time. Turn 12. Does he get it a bit better? Absolutely gets it much better, but maybe not the best of exits, but certainly didn't half spin it like he did the first time round. Down the Las Vegas Boulevard, past all the famous hotels and casinos to left and right, passes the Eiffel Tower as well. All focus is on braking for this final braking zone. You've got to nail it in here, a little bit wide at the apex, but still okay. Gets it better than Covers does. This is going to be pole position provisionally for Shizu Macho. Isn't the best he could do? Maybe not, because he was not improving by as much in the first sector, but the second and third sectors have been mighty. Macho sets the benchmark, 130.773 for Shizu Macho. Everybody else has made their way out onto the famous streets to try and tackle that lap. Ferrari have provisional pole, just like they did in Formula 1. Charles Leclerc taking pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Can the Dutchman Shizu Macho repeat that feat? We will have to wait and see. He's the only man who's not currently on an outlap. He is amongst the traffic. No chance of getting back in and out, unfortunately, for Shizu Macho. That's him done from this session, but he did have a clean run at it. It's going to be Monza 2019-esque here, I feel. Because there's got to be a lot of slipstream shenanigans. Timon saying Evan Solo comes big sad. I'm not that bad. Ladies and gentlemen. No, we'll have Timon back next week, where we do head on to a more normal circuit, potentially in PSGL. As we can see, cars weaving in and out of each other. No such thing as a gentleman's rule when the prize is biggest. Covers rounds through the final corner. We'll try keep an eye on absolutely everybody on their laps, but this could get rather difficult, as Flotman is the first man on his run. He's coming up towards Caesars Forum and then in towards Westchester Drive, which is just this short left-hander, braking for the left and right. Flotman needs a big first sector here if he wants to try and get back within pole position. We do have 10 drivers within 5.5 tenths of a second. But Flotman, our newest addition, big first sector for Flotman. 43.3 matches what we've seen in the earlier stages of the session. Covers then heading in towards the MSG Sphere section. Apologies, Irish accent on the cold. Doesn't really suit SPHs. But let's see what Covers can do through this first sector. 43.3 matches what Flotman does. So Flotman heading down Las Vegas Boulevard. He has found 0.288 now on his lap. Macho's retired from the session. So it's Sebastian Vettel-esque from Singapore. Sit in the garage, hope and pray. No one can beat your best attempt. Here comes Flotman round the final corner for the final time in the session. Still 15 seconds on the clock. There's cars in front still going on a lap. What can Flotman do in his first session? It's the front row of the grid for the McLaren in his first session. Absolutely excellent. Can Covers nail these final corners where he made the mistakes earlier? He spun through this one, of course. Turn 16. A lot better this time round from the Dutchman. Can he go on the front row? Can he pip Flotman? Can he achieve pole here on the Las Vegas Strip circuit? Covers to the line. It's only good enough for fifth this time round. Dirk heading in towards the final couple of corners now. There is an Alpine heading towards the line as well. But they're into the pit lane! And Dirk has bottled into the final hurdle round where we saw Covers make the mistake. Max van der Geest will not get a lap on the board either. Ian Van Unen heading through the final corners. Got to avoid that Aston Martin on the outside. A horrible mistake for the Hungarian Grand Prix winner. Here comes Ian Van Unen for the final corners now. What can this Dutchman do? Tellez goes 6th. Van Unen across the line now. He goes up to 6th and beats Tellez. Zorzo as well, still on a lap as well. We've got Philip, the German. Danielle can only improve to 2nd position. Here goes Philip. He'll go 11th position. Does the Alpha Tauri. Johan with a big middle sector as well. We're still waiting. No, we're not waiting to see a time from our championship leader. Here comes Matteo to 13th. Enzo as well, who was very high up in Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying. Can he repeat it here at the Las Vegas Strip? Across the line goes Enzo. It's only 14th. He's not able to match his Ferrari teammate. Johan, this is the biggest one left on the circuit, you feel. Johan to the line. It's only 11th. Can Diogo Silva maybe put on a show? He absolutely cannot. And there is something... Oh no, apologies. Zorzo across the line, but it's only 7th. There is something to be said about chancing it and going first. Ferrari put all their money on red, and Macho has brought home the grand prize and takes pole position for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 1:30.773 is your pole time. He did it earliest. Got it all out of the way. Didn't make a mistake. And the man we watched 3 times this session decided that he was going to be the man we should watch a hell of a lot more. Macho on pole position for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Sapala, fair play to you, because he said Macho takes pole in terms of our actual vote. Dirk took the highest, and Dirk unfortunately bottled it at the final hurdle. But what a qualifying here in Las Vegas. This is going to be a brilliant, brilliant Grand Prix. It is Macho, Danielle, Flotman, Dirk covers Ian Van Unen, then it's Zorzo, Thales, Max van der Geest, Newt, Johan, Philip, Zane, Matteo, then it is Enzo, Diogo Silva, Fede, and Ghost Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. The Las Vegas Grand Prix is coming up after a very short commercial break. Well, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't the pit building look absolutely stunning here in Las Vegas? This could be one of the best races of the season, potentially. Once again, a quick reminder of the circuit we're facing. 17 corners, 11 to the left, 5 to the right, I should say. Lap record does still belong to Oscar Piastri. It has not changed in the last 18 minutes that we've been here. Jarno Opmeer, of course, a man you will be all familiar with, did a last to first here in a rival league, so it's certainly possible if your name is Diogo Silva and you want to get a little bit more up the field. But yes, it's going to be, hopefully, a really, really good race. Leave your predictions in the stream chat, of course, as here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. Who will strike it lucky as we go racing here in Las Vegas? Brilliant start initially from Dirk. Horrible start from Flotman. He's not got away well. The Haas Danielle already looking to thread the needle in towards the first corner and get past the Ferrari. Danielle is into the race lead provisionally, but Macho has the inside line, and there's already a bit of a tank slapper for the Haas. Ian Van Unen going the outside. 3, 4, 5 wide as we head onto Cobble Lane. There's a 5 wide here involving the 2 Mercedes heading down towards the right-hander. 5 into 1 does not go, does 3 just about, and oh, it's a big collision. Both Mercedes involved in it, as well as Flotman on his debut. Flotman had an exceptional qualifying, but Covers and Zorzo have already been involved in an incident as well with the McLaren. Matteo and Ghost Kings were involved in that one as well. It was just a little bit too risky heading in towards the right-hander at Caesars Forum, and they're already down and way out of this one, but I can't imagine it's going to be a green flag race to the end of this one. Braking for the left-hander at turn number 12. They're all still within a second of each other, apart from Max van der Geest, who was 1.6 off Danielle. That's due to the incident. They just all had to get around it. Your biggest gainer in the opening lap. G-League Enzo, we said last to first was possible. We didn't really mean it on the first lap, Enzo. He's up 9 positions to 6th. Here comes the main straight here on the Las Vegas Boulevard. This is where the Slipstream Fest will begin. Tala's looking to break up the inside here of the Alpine, and there's already swapping and changing going in towards turn 15. 16's a very tight left-hander, but they've managed to navigate it successfully, and they're all relatively through safely. Here comes the Williams of Thales, however, trying to get behind our championship leader. Oh, that's ferociously quick to the left. And you can see braking for the first left-hander of the circuit. Lap 2 already underway. What a dramatic first lap we had. It was Zorzo and Covers who were involved in an incident with Ghost Kings, Flotman and or Matteo. Matteo looking to work his way back up the field. You can see Philip starting on the medium compounded tyres. Let's bring up your tyres on screen. We have all 3 represented. The reason Enzo got such a quick start, well, he's on the Pirelli soft compounded tyres, but the majority at the front on the hards. Bit of a snap for Johan. Had to save it mid-corner there. That would have been squeaky bum time for him. As you can see, the Williams Italas trying sort of an IndyCar high line through there. Was running way wide. Heading through the long left-hander of turn number 6. It tightens up a lot then for the left-hander of 7, which is the first bit of 2 in the chicane. But my goodness me, what a start here in Las Vegas. Pardon me, folks. We have Macho still leading the Grand Prix ahead of Ian Van Unen. Then it's Danielle in 3rd, Max van der Geest in 4th, Enzo, Dirk, Newt, Thales, Philip, Johan. Is it going to remain like that till the end of this race? Not a chance. Not a chance, is it? As Enzo already up past Max van der Geest. The Las Vegas Boulevard, I think, is going to be absolutely chaos come lap 25. I say that because I know it will be, because it's happened in almost every other league ever around this Las Vegas Strip circuit. Mateo gets past Jesus Fede. Good move there, up to 12. Mateo looking to work his way back up the order as Macho sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, quicker than the lap record set by Oscar Piastri. Enzo's going to beat that one even more. 2.1 seconds between Danielle and Enzo. Enzo's got to try clawing that because DRS is now enabled, and of course we're going to get a lot of overtaking due to that DRS, but the soft tyre is working a treat here for the Ferrari so far, as he will aim to go a long distance on those tyres. He's going to try go to the mediums, I would say, come the end of this race. He's got to manage them though. He can't really be reckless on them and just push to his heart's content, although as tempting as that may be whenever you get on the soft compound tyres, he's got to try and manage them a little bit, maybe sit behind a car or two through the corners, just smooth steering, go-kart steering, as they say, and just play it smooth, play it calmly, and try bring this Ferrari home. But Ferrari 1-4, absolutely great start from a team that probably needed it. They, of course, are last in the constructors' standings, with only 4 points. Macho, not even the Ferrari main driver, Jacob Konias, came in to replace our Mr. Olympian, William Murdoch. But Macho providing the goods here this evening. He's under pressure from Ian Van Unen though, heading down the Las Vegas Boulevard in towards the left-hander. It's still be Macho that leads the Grand Prix. Van Unen was not able to make a move in towards that section of the circuit. Oh, actually hits the wall, does Van Unen. And now Danielle's going to look for the outside. Is there damage on that AlphaTauri? It looks like he's got away scot-free, and I'm not really too sure how, because Van Unen was, he clattered that wall on the right-hand side very, very heavily. I think he's got away though. Fair play, Van Unen. Fair play to the AlphaTauri mechanics for making that car out of titanium, because my goodness me, was that a heavy hit to the right-hand side of the body of that car. The other AlphaTauri set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix and is hungry behind the championship leader. Here comes Philip, replacing Noel, of course, for this evening. Is he able to send one up the inside? Gets very close to the German in front of him, but thankfully they're both okay on this this adventure, and they can carry on. Big thanks to you all who are watching so far. Hope you're enjoying the action. Let us know your thoughts in the stream chat, of course, ladies and gentlemen. We will come to them during the dull point of the race. We've gone 4 laps without a safety car, and honestly, I'm impressed. I was totally expecting a lap 1 red flag, even though I don't think they're enabled. But still, that's how chaotic it can be. Into the slipstream goes Danielle. Got past Van Unen through turn 15 the last time round, as Philip has managed to get past Newt in a straight line. Philip on the medium tyres, 1-3 on the mediums, but Ghost Kings and Flopman have both already made pit stops here in this one. Danielle's going for the race lead, not able to get it past the fellow Ferrari-powered Ferrari, I suppose, but he's in a Ferrari-powered Haas and the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull powertrains. Coalition, I suppose you could say. It's basically Honda. But here comes Ian Van Unen. He's got away with one hairy moment. Can he get away with another if he was to hit the wall? I'm not too sure. He's got a plan on not hitting the wall, ideally. But some things you cannot predict around this Las Vegas circuit. They head on to Cobble Lane for the 5th time. And it is Macho who leads from Danielle. Trust me, folks. Give this race a few laps. I've commented one race around Las Vegas. I've watched a hell of a lot more. Trust me. This is going to all blow up about 3 laps from the end. It's one that you just got to have a bit of patience for. which is easier said than done when you look at audience retention across the course of a season. But please bear with us for a little bit here, because this could be a thriller come the end of the race. Enzo really close to the wall. It seems like he's not managed his soft tyres oh so well, and I say that, but he has driven a mighty stint so far, because he's brought this entire field... The entire field, yep, look all the way back to the apex at 12. Basically the entire field, about Flopman and Ghost Kings, back within contention for a race win here. And Max is just going to say, thank you for your hard work there, Sunshine. I'm just going to take that position and go for the race lead, as here comes Danielle, going past another Ferrari. So Macho and Enzo both losing spots on this occasion, but that's not really the biggest issue in the world here, because overtaking is certainly possible down into turn 14, as we've seen demonstrated time and time again here on this one. But yes, it is Macho down to second. Let's ride on board through this first sector and see how he tackles this one. Oh, Danielle wide, just as we were about to have a little bit of a car audio segment. Danielle runs completely wide through turn 1. Dare I say that was tactical from the German, because I don't think he makes a mistake such like that, because it was too perfect a mistake. I didn't see a lockup, but I was also grabbing my bottle of water, so I don't know. But he is down to second, but we'll have the DRS once again heading down the Las Vegas Boulevard, as Timden Higher in the stream chat saying, don't jinx the safety car or red flag. No brakes for you around here. No, there absolutely is not. Danielle's Italian. Yeah, apologies. He's Italian. I read out Kart Racer's notes instead of his, because they're teammates. Danielle is Italian. If his name was not Italian enough for you, he is Italian, and was the F3 champion last season, of course, and his teammate Kart Racer was the F4 champion. But ADT Danielle is an Italian racer looking to pass an Italian car once again in towards turn number 14. So maybe these two could work together a little bit. I say these two could work together. Macho's lost 2 positions. Van Unen goes past him. The Dutchman, who's definitely a Dutchman, gets past Shizu Macho, heading through turn 14 as well. But it is like rush hour traffic heading in towards turn 17. They're all single file. I would say behaving for the time being. There's been nothing audacious. There's been nothing that could cause problems for Louis Dupont and the rest of the stewards post-race. There's been nothing like that so far. Lap 7 at 25, Danielle leads. Now let's ride on board with Van Unen and see where he can take out time in this middle sector. Or the end of the first sector, I should say. Oh, it's the man. It's the man who has brought this entire train back into this one. G-League Enzo has had a problem heading in towards turn number 5, and he's fallen down to 12th. There's no damage on the special liveried Ferrari, but it doesn't look like it's driving oh too well. There could be a trip to the pits here potentially for Enzo, as he will have to try recover his race once again. He was up 10 positions, up to 4th at one point. As you can see, the 3 cars behind all squirming to try and get past him in the braking zone. There's going to be a swap for the race lead once again. There could be 2 past the 1 once again. Van Unen leads. Is Macho going to go for the pair of them in towards turn number 14? Swapping and changing at the front. We had a feeling that there certainly could be a record number of overtakes for a PSGL race here this evening, or in one of our many tiers racing this evening. Remember, of course, F1 is on in 20 minutes time, or I should say when these 25 laps are over. You don't need to check otherwise. And of course we have F3 at 8 o'clock as well. F4 you can rewatch it at the same time as now, so if you're watching this one, or maybe you're multi-screening. I was going to say you're probably not watching that one, but you could be multi-screening. I know there was the F1 multi-screen thing, F1 TV, I can't remember the official name for it, but it's something like that. Can Macho get past Ian Van Unen down towards Caesar's Forum? His teammate had problems here the last time round. Might have just run wide into that runoff, very deep runoff there. You lose a lot of positions if you do run wide, because he's not into the pit lane. Zane is into the pit lane. Alfa Romeo are having a horrible, horrible race so far. They're 14th and 17th respectively. Van Unen all over the place, heading in towards turn number 8. In towards turn number 9, past the elevated monorail. Macho all on the tail of the AlphaTauri, and he'll certainly be looking to take the race lead come Las Vegas Boulevard. Let me know your thoughts on this Grand Prix so far in the stream chat. It's a very interesting one, this one so far. It's sort of at a little bit of a dead point, I suppose you could say, where we just have a lot of swapping and changing, but not a lot of action. But remember, they're probably going to be like this until lap 25. Pit stops are going to be very crucial here as well. You've got to make sure you pit on the right lap for the right tyre. Let's here we go then. Macho going to take the race lead off Ian Van Unen. The Haas of Danielle is going to go for this one as well. Is he? No, just runs out of road. So Van Unen will take second. It's Macho, Van Unen, Danielle, and Max van der Geest, Dirk, Philip, Newt, Tales, Johan Zorzo. That's your top 10 here around Las Vegas. Newt, our championship leader, of course, in 7th position. He does lead the championship by 7 points over Zorzo. He's outscoring Zorzo as it is for now, but there's a lot. Every driver is still in championship contention. This is our 4th round of the season. This is sort of the race where we're going to separate who is a championship contender and who is a championship pretender, as that's Tales, the Brazilian, all round, and you can see Enzo trying it around the outside of Matteo. Oh, got to be careful there, Tales, and coming back onto the circuit. But Tales, front wing damage for the Williams. That's very unfortunate for the Brazilian, as he hit the wall just heading on towards Covell Lane for the Rochelle Avenue intersection. And he is, unfortunately, down to 15th here in this one. Matteo gets past Enzo once again. We saw Enzo try an audacious move, the side-by-side at the apex here. Matteo and Enzo both battling heavily in towards the left-hander. Now Enzo slides the car through here, sliding on those soft tyres an awful lot, but he comes out of the corner, slipping and sliding, but ahead of an Aston Martin of Matteo. And it is Enzo who's still looking at this one. Almost a little bit of a brake check almost there. He's got to be careful for that one, Enzo. Is Matteo going to try this up the inside into turn number 12? No. Smarter driver than that one. It's the two Italians, or the German and the Italian, as I said earlier, who are scrapping, heading on towards the boulevard. Philip gets past Dirk. Philip driving a great race on those medium compound tyres. He is really driving a great race. As you can see, Dirk getting back past and braking for the left-hander, still side by side at the apex. AlphaTauri trying it the long way around the outside, just about left enough space through there. And he is going to have to sit behind for the time being in the battle we were watching. Fede is now ahead of Enzo. So Enzo came out of turn 9 ahead of the pair of them. Come turn 16 and they're both ahead. Or turn 17 coming up now. Well, I say that, they're going to be side by side here, and Fede actually now up to 11 here on the fringe of the points. They're 5.5 seconds behind, but we could certainly get a safety car. Here comes Enzo diving it back up the inside of Matteo. These guys are not waiting for the last couple of laps to provide the action. They want position immediately. Track position, not necessarily the most crucial thing around this Las Vegas circuit, but it certainly is if your name is G-League Enzo. Heading in towards the right-hander, then Diogo Silva gets past Johan, and Philip now side-by-side with Dirk. It's kicking off here as the variation and tyre degradation kicking in to the revelation that is this Las Vegas Grand Prix, as Dirk just about keeps the car on the inside, but doesn't manage to get fully alongside to be warranted enough racing room into the next left-hander, and he's going to have to sit behind for the time being. Youth as well looking to get involved in the action here on turn number 11, where Lando Norris, of course, had his scary accident. We've not had anyone really go off into that runoff so far today, but the last time I said something like that, the safety car came out literally 4 seconds later last season, so we could get someone off there in a mere amount of moments. But lap 10 at 25, more swapping and changing up the front. It seems it's going to be Van Unen. Or no, it's not going to be Van Unen. Van Unen sits behind, and now the race management element for the Speedy Dutchman comes into this one, and Dirk is out. Dirk is out of the Grand Prix. Where has he gone off? Oh, what's gone on there? That is in towards turn 15. Dirk, last week's race winner, is out of the Las Vegas Grand Prix in what seems to be a bit of a freakish accident. Dare I say, he was pushed into a wall there, because that's not a normal place for a driver to crash. Unless he just completely misjudged his entrance to the corner and smashed the wall, but I doubt that's the case. So Dirk is out of the Grand Prix. Heartbreaking for Dirk, who's 6th in the championship. He finished 14th and 14th in the opening 2 rounds, then got the win last week, his first points of the season. And there'll be no repetition, unfortunately, here on the Las Vegas Strip. As he's our first retirement, and now we have our first safety car here this evening. Macho leads. He was first in and out at the pit lane. Van Unen second. I'm surprised they were able to get in the pit lane that quickly. I would love to... Obviously, we don't have a replay function. But if we did, I'd love to see a replay of them entering the pit lane, because they seemed almost too far gone to get into the pits, but could be completely wrong in that regard. We'll have to wait and see. But a little bit of a break in the action, that allows all 17 of them to get back in the running, and most importantly, have their mandatory pit stop completed. Zane's gone for the softs. A decision I respect. He's trying to get places here in this one. He's trying to get track position, but top 3 for now. It's Macho, Vanoon and Danielle. Remember, of course, folks, to check out our other tiers that'll be streaming later. We have PSF1 coming up in 13 minutes' time, but you're going to want to wait to stick around for the rest of this one. You've waited this long, why not wait for the end of the race? And then, of course, we have F2 you're watching. F3 is at 8 PM. F4 is ongoing now as well. And then we have, of course, our other PS tiers. PC then returns on Thursday evening. It is the Red Bull Ring that will be home there, the Austrian Grand Prix coming up to you live. Of course, you can tune into F2, and that is, of course, Nathan Richards and Daniel Field, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe. F3 then, of course, as well. Then next week we return on Monday evening for our edition of the Red Bull Ring. While we're under the safety car, of course, we can remind you of the PSGL calendar. We have Vegas, and of course, then it is Austria, Monza, Singapore, and then we have Christmas. You can get some new equipment off the man in the red suit with the white beard, and then we return to Barcelona, Miami, Britain, and Bahrain. We take a look over the Las Vegas skyline as we're on lap 12 out of 24. It is Macho who leads, and the red car behind, the red Mercedes AMG. I'd love to hear from you in the stream chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one, and it's also a bit of conversation for us under the safety car. I'd love to hear what your thoughts on this race are. So let us know who you think is going to win it first and foremost. Let us know how you would play the remaining 13 and a bit laps of this race. And most importantly, let us know if you're enjoying the action here on F2. I certainly think it's a good race here so far. It's a pleasure to have about 43 of you here this evening. Tim saying Ian for the win. So Ian for the win. Ian, of course, won the opening round of the season, has scored no points since then, had a wheel-related DNF in Qatar, had a wheel-related non-start in Budapest. Can he have a wheel-driven Formula 1 car get a really good result here this evening? Oh, that's dreadful. Covers for the win, says moi, me, which means the same thing, means me. So, Covers saying... Oh no, Covers, he's saying Covers will win. So Covers, who's down in 13th, that's optimistic. But we haven't really seen a test of pace from Covers. We haven't really seen what Covers can do, because he made mistakes in qualifying and was involved in that opening lap collision. And let's be real, we haven't really focused on this race. Covers, of course, at the start of the season was preaching, saying he is PSGL F1 standard. We didn't really see that until last week, where he finished 0.3 of a second off the win in Hungary while on a less quicker tyre. Can we see that here today? He took pole in Hungary, of course, by 0.069 tenths of a second over TF10 Skyline, who's not here this evening. But it was the Aston Martin of Dirk that won the race. Dirk is out of the race here, unfortunately, here this evening, so we're going to have a newer winner. Yeah, potentially. Match has not won a race this season. Danielle has not won a race this season. Neither has Max Zorzo. Newt, despite leading the championship, he's had 2 podiums, a 3rd place and a 2nd place in Japan and Qatar, respectively. Got an 8th place last time out in Hungary. He's not won a race this season. He's not won a race for 4 seasons. So he would love to win the race here this evening. Safety car should be in come the end of this trip round the Las Vegas Strip circuit. You can see the advertising pumping left and right over the straight. But the main thing our eyes are going to be fixated on is this safety car restart. There's no reason for the safety car not to be in unless it calls it now. Oh, very late. Really late call, but the safety car is going to be in this lap regardless. We will go racing once again here on the Las Vegas Strip. He passes the Much Burger store, I think it says. And Macho has to slow it right down because he wants to allow the safety car to get past safety car line 1, or the pit lane in our regard. Remember, no overtaking until past the start-finish line. So he's got a chance to bolt away here. Does Macho. Holds. Still holding. Very slow restart this one from Macho. Got to be careful now at this point. There is a minimum speed. Still weaving, trying to get temperature on those medium tyres. None of these guys have ran the mediums yet. And now he goes. We go racing once again here in Las Vegas. It's a good restart from Macho, but Ian Van Unen's got away well as well in towards the first corner. Is there going to be anyone able to make a big move? There is. Diogo Silva going to have to concede that position to Enzo. They both don't know who's ahead, really, and there's a bit of contact in towards the first corner. The Ferrari nudges the side of the Williams, and Diogo Silva is up into 8th position. Then down Cobble Lane for the restart. Lap 14 of 25. We're going to be getting into the swing of things come the end of this stint. Enzo now side by side with Johan. Enzo does not have that initial pace that he had on the soft tyres. That is only natural, of course. He's on equal pegging to everybody else, really, for the first time in this race. He's got to get used to that, not having a tyre advantage. Big dive up the inside from Matteo on Covers. Covers got to leave adequate room. So does Matteo, of course. Now Covers just trying to fish it past the elevated monorail and get past Matteo, but not able to work out on this occasion. Van Unen's dropped 6/10 to Macho in front. Remember, no DRS until lap 16, which will be our 3rd trip round after the restart. Then there will be DRS heading down Cobble Lane, heading down the Las Vegas Boulevard and into turn 15. But a good restart from Macho, but this is where the slipstream kicks in. This is where Freebird starts playing, and you just get that bolt to straight line speed. Van Unen leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix. One of 2 trips to America in this PSGL season, of course. We go to Miami after the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya after the Christmas break. But there's still lots to do here. Van Unen, that's actually the fastest lap of the race from Ian Van Unen on the medium. So the medium has lit up really quickly here. There's not the same warming issues that we saw in Formula 1. PSGL has a much toastier track here in Las Vegas. 15 out of 25 though, still plenty of racing to go here. But I have a feeling this one is going to come down to the last lap. But we will have to wait and see. Matteo gets past Fede in the background. They're side by side. Oh! Aston Martin really close to the wall. There's actually a yellow flag. It's Tales who brought out a yellow flags earlier for a crash heading through turn 3. He has caused an incident heading down towards turn number 5, and unfortunately he has brought out the yellow flags, and you can see him there just passing the sphere now, where we're already on the run down towards turn number 12. He's got to work his way back into this race. Macho then right behind Van Unen on towards the strip. He's going to have to try get the exit. That's Ghost Kings who has brought out the yellow flags. It looks like he's hit the wall somewhere. Is there a broken front wing? Yeah, there is. There's no end plate, so a trip to the pits needed for the Hassman. Here comes Macho, tucked into the slipstream of the AlphaTauri, gaining. Now clicks on the battery, as that is Ghost Kings into the wall at turn number 12. Side by side for the race lead, side by side for 3rd place, side by side for 8th place in the background. Macho leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix. They swap and change once again in there, and we will have DRS, which will only make this a hell of a lot worse for drivers leading onto that straight. Flotman gets past Fede. We saw Covers come close to the wall once again, heading through the 15-16 chicane. That's not the first time today where he's come close to hitting that wall. Hit it in qualifying. and then hasn't hit it yet in the race. Hopefully for his sake, it does stay that way. But Macho leads here in Las Vegas. Ghost Kings, unfortunately, pulls into the pit lane and retires from this race. He'll play no further part in his reserve endeavour, replacing kart racer Ghost Kings. Of course, is 17th in the championship, has had 4 points scored, where he got them in Qatar, which was the other new track to the F123 game, but unfortunately no luck here on the Las Vegas Boulevard, or the Las Vegas Strip Circuit, I should say. The Boulevard is just one straight. But here we go. It's this one here now. We enter it once again. Of Macho, but he's not actually using the DRS. There he opens it, because he realises Danielle's going to thunder past here in towards turn number 14. They almost went free abreast into the braking, but sense prevailed and they all backed off. That could have been really dangerous. We could have seen a 3-car collision potentially. But we'll have to wait for another time for that one to happen. Maybe the last lap of the race, as Tales still unfortunately straggling around at the back of the field. He wasn't able to catch up, and now the DRS being activated is not going to help matters on that regard. Lap 17 at 25. We're still just waiting. The entire race building like a crescendo, waiting to happen, as we can see. Oh, this is a brilliant camera on board Ian Van Unen. We are on the headrest of the AlphaTauri. Let's stick with this one. I decided to change it just as a let's stick with it, but we still have another one on the left side of the headrest now. Fair play to Ian for letting Codemasters put cameras all over his car, and now we come off it here at turn number 8. But just look at them all filing around. So many different colours of cars, so many different liveries for this Las Vegas race. We have one of them, at least here today, the Ferrari, that is leading. One Ferrari down to 11 out of the points. The other Ferrari still leading. It's if he was to win this one, Macho, it would be a pole to win, but I can't see it being that easy. It's not your typical Max Verstappen pole to win. It's certainly not what we've seen in the past, pole to wins here in PSGL F2, like Jerry Van Bussel did, like many a driver did, of course. We had Fede do it, or not Fede, apologies. We had one of the Outplayed Racing drivers do it a few times. Unfortunately, his name escapes me. It's been a few seasons since we had that sort of level of dominance, but hopefully this season we don't have it again. We haven't so far. I'm on round 4 of action. Van Unen not able to go for it. There wasn't actually a move that time round. As we see Diogo Silva look for it again as Covers. Covers is wide. Covers onto the curb, sort of parked it on the curb for a second. Very high curve there on the exit of the Harbour Isle Apartments, turn number 1. And he was able to just get it off the curb in time. Van Unen almost goes for the lead in towards turn number 5. Oh, Macho spun it and hit Van Unen. The race leaders lost it here on lap 18. He was controlling this one from the front, but Shazoo Macho has locked the rears, completely spun it in towards turn number 7. It was a lull in the action. Macho spins round and hits Ian Van Unen. There was definitely an end plate that flew off. Bernd Maylander makes a reintroduction to the surface here in PSGL F2. Wow, is that dramatic. Macho and Ian Van Unen, the two who looked like they were dead set to fight for the race lead until the end of proceedings, have come to blows. Wow, that was a freakish incident from the pole sitter who's looked flawless here today. The Ferrari, man, down to 12th. Gonna need a pit stop here, presumably, as does Ian Van Unen. But is Ian saved by the fact they all will pit for softs here? I'm not entirely sure, but Ian is definitely going to have to pit. Wow. Las Vegas provides the drama. Most of them are in. Someone's staying out. It's Zorzo. Oh, Van Unen, 5 for speeding in the pit lane. His woes get worse. The man who's not had a single ounce of luck, really, since Japan. His luck does not continue in the city, look. Oh, and now wing change 5-second time penalty. I don't think the penalty was served. I think it was just the wing change. But the double stack is going to send his teammate way down the field as well. And now take a look at this. There was 2 drivers involved in an incident on the opening lap of this one. Through this corner here exactly. Turn number 5, right-hander at Caesars Forum. It was both Mercedes who were involved in an incident with Flotman. Those same Mercedes of Zorzo and Covers are 1 and 2 here in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The only problem there is every single driver in the field is behind them on brand new tyres. Danielle on new softs, Max on new softs, Newth on new mediums. Him, Matteo and Fede have all opted for the mediums. But my goodness me, is this dramatic? Usually if one driver's going to stay out, his teammate will pit and they'll go for a split strategy. But Mercedes have stuck it all on yellow. Pun intended, because they're on the medium tyres, and the medium tyres are yellow. But, my oh my, is this dramatic. This is more than we could have imagined coming into the end of this race. And we see a Mercedes 1-2 around the Las Vegas Strip circuit. The 2 who we thought had a dead set win are 7th and 15th. Macho, the pole sitter, completely spinning under his own accord in towards turn number 7 of the MSG Sphere. Is down to 15th in this one. I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. Incredible. But if you're just tuning in to PSGL F2, don't go anywhere. This is going to be one of the best climaxes to a race that you might ever see. I do love this camera shot. Ah. They obviously didn't want me to like it, but I do like that one. As you can see, my dual sense wireless controller battery level is low. There's a notification for you, but in terms of championship standings ahead of this one, it's all going to be completely changed. They're on your screen now, with Newt leading, then Zorzo. Zorzo now leads the race. He could have a 16-point swing if everything went right for him. I'm not sure it will, because things are not that simple. Things are not usually that simple around a circuit like this. Will the safety car be in this lap? It was called about here the last time round. No, I think we're going to go for one more trip round. No, we're not. That's an extremely late call. The 2 Mercedes are going to work together here to try and... Oh, this front wing's gone flying. There's a front wing gone flying. Whose front wing is that under the safety car? I think it could be a Williams. I think it's Diogo Silva. Can't really see his end plate. No, I think he's okay. Was it our championship leader? Was it Newt in the Alpine? I'm not so sure. It was. It's the championship leader. We go racing in Las Vegas. The championship leader's front wing has been knocked off on the safety car restart. Can it get more dramatic? Race winner's gone. Championship leader now driving a wounded Alpine to the end here. Covers has already lost second position on the restart. It's all guns blazing here on the restart. It's hell for leather down Cobble Lane on lap 21 and 25. Covers now trying to defend through his teammate and trying to let the Mercedes canter off into the wind, but it's not going to work like that because it's not that simple. Here comes the Italian trying it round the outside where Macho lost his race win chance. Can the Haas rejuvenate his big slide for the man on the old mediums? Danielle being held up here, the rest of the pack able to catch. Can Danielle try take the race lead here past Zorzo, heading down towards turn number 12. They pass the Venetian on the left hand side. They pass the Win Hotel as well. Who's going to be the winner of this one though? No lunge from Danielle. He's going to sit back. He's going to sit back and just wait down the boulevard. The Mercedes moves, the Haas moves later. The Mercedes soars, the Haas soars quicker, and Danielle is up and into the lead of this race. But what can the rest do? Can Max van der Gies get past his outplayed racing teammate of Covers? He absolutely can here. The softs are way better than the mediums. The gamble was too much and they've lost it all potentially for Mercedes. Is OP Max van der Gies able to lunge for this one? He hits the wall on the outside and Newt is now fighting for his life. He gets the job done, mind you, and Covers is into the wall. He's been tagged. He's been tagged by Diogo Silva. Covers is into the wall, reverses off the racing line. Very sportsmanlike from Covers. Mercedes have thrown it all away with an extreme gamble on strategy. And no, that's no Las Vegas pawn. They have just thrown it all away with too big a gamble on the strategy because one car is down to 16th. Dare I say Zorzo could lose a lot more because Danielle is gone. He's gone in this one. Max has to work with someone else here to DRS and slipstream each other down, but no, he's gone too deep. He's gone too deep in towards turn number 5, and Max van der Gies falls down to 5th place. Van Unen has that 5-second penalty, but he's up to 4th here. This is incredible stuff on the Las Vegas Strip. Max van der Gies fighting for his life in that Red Bull. Unfortunately, the camera just clicked off. I'm trying to see if there's sustained damage for the Dutchman. There is. There's no end plate, but he's still going side by side with drivers just like Newt is, trying to fight for everything. Danielle has a 2.7 second lead here, but it seems like if you lead this race, you're not able to sustain it. Is Danielle about to get the easiest win of his life around the circuit they said it was most difficult to win at? It's 11 lap old mediums versus a stranded Alpine for second place here. A wounded Alpine, apologies, for second place here. Ian Van Unen looking to fight back for this one. And Zorzo not able to keep up with the Alpine in a straight line. The championship leader could be heading for a very unlikely podium here in Las Vegas. Flotman, 3-second time penalty. Oh, there's cars off everywhere. Oh, Zane! My goodness me, that got me off guard. The Alfa Romeo drives straight into the wall. Macho is round at the back as well. It certainly wasn't his day for Ferrari. Diogo Silva round at the back as well at 23 at 25. Danielle is extending that gap. I said we'd come down to the last 2 laps. I didn't think it'd be in quite a manner like this one. It's been crazy here in Las Vegas. So many drivers have thrown away different win chances. Van Unen sits behind Newt. It seems like the... Just take a look at this. It's an Alpine in second, who has no left end plate, versus an AlphaTauri in third, but no right one. All their cars are bashed and bruised. Danielle just needs to keep his car out of the walls and he'll win this one. You can see him saunter off there as Matteo big dive up the inside of Ethan. And let's wait and see what happens in this one. Enzo, apologies, there's no driver call. No, into the wall, bit of contact between the pair, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. I don't know how neither of them have gone spiralling off into turn 12's runoff, just like Lando Norris was. Because usually when there's contact like that in an F1 game, it's usually curtains. Here comes Van Unen overtaking Newt. He of course has the better tyres of the pair. The soft tyres way quicker. Here comes Zorzo. First and second in the championship. Third and fourth on the road, but it's got to swap around that way because Zorzo is now up to third. Newt just got to try get every point he can here in terms of a championship battle. Danielle is gone at the front. And remember, Ian Van Unen has that 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That will be removed come the end of the race. But let's wait and see. Newt now, is he able to go for the move on Zorzo into turn 1? Zorzo defends to the inside. The German trying it the long way. Potential switchback maneuver for the Alpine. Is he able to do it? No, he isn't through there. I can't believe And I highly doubt Daniel can either. How simple this one's going to be if he can keep his hat out of the walls. Down Covell Lane, though, once again. There's cars left, there's cars right. Enzo with a big lunge down the inside of Max van der Geest. Oh, no. Red Bull into the wall. Van der Geest is out of the Grand Prix. He was maybe tipped for a win a couple laps ago, but just like everyone who was tipped for a win here today, they've parked their car in the wall. Potential penalty in store from the post-race stewards for G-League Enzo on that regard. It was a bit of a reckless lunge up the inside, and he could be in a spot of bother potentially for that one. Newt, though, hounding down Zorzo, looking for this one in towards turn number 12. Oh, Van Unen's wide! Van Unen really wide, and you can see Newt actually, I think it was tapped from the car behind, or either got a huge tank slapper, but rounding through the final couple of corners to start the final lap of the race. These guys are still hell for leather. This one is still not over for sure for these, I suppose you could say, minor placings, but they're very, very important in terms of the championship. Breaking for turn 14, it is Daniel, Van Unen, Newt, Zorzo, Enzo, Johan, Matteo, Flopman, Philip, then it is Fede, Tales, Diogo Silva and Macho. Daniel going to start the final lap of the race. If he can just bring this one home, he will win this quite simply, because even the man who's hounding him down has a 5-second time penalty. What a result this could be for Newt, the championship leader, if he was able to take a win here. Fede falling out of the points and still side by side actually with Tales, so not falling out of it yet. Now he's out of the points, unfortunately, is Fede. Newt tucked into the slipstream of the AlphaTauri. Philip in the other AlphaTauri, able to get past Flopman for 8th position, then rounding past the MSG Sphere for the final time. Newt is he's going to probably overtake Ian here, or try to overtake Ian, due to the fact that he'll have a lot more cars behind him. But it's a wounded AlphaTauri versus a wounded Alpine versus a Mercedes that's on very, very old tyres. Daniel running onto the strip for the final time. He just has a couple more corners to go. On Van Unen, rounding onto the strip for the final time. He has Newt right behind him. And here comes the slipstream fest. I don't think Zorzo's close enough. And this one is practically already decided, because Newt is going to soar past here. And Zorzo is way too far behind. But Danielle is braking for the final couple of corners. Turn 14, you can see battles in the background for 10th. Turn 14, 15, he's taking it so slowly to make sure it's okay. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But Danielle's first PSGL F2 win will be one to remember, and one he will take out of here. Galloping how easy it truly was in the end. The Italian is an F2 race winner here in PSGL. It was a trifecta of cars side by side across the line. What a race here in Las Vegas. That's one to remember for quite a long time. Danielle Verhaas, the F3 champion, is on the board here in F2. It's a first race win of the season. And here he is coming out onto the podium to celebrate that. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, your full race results. I need a nice cream after that. My throat is gone. Don't know about you. A lie down would be nice as well, I think. What a hectic race. It is Danielle who takes the race win, followed by your championship leader, Newt. Maybe this is the season to be for the German. Matteo then takes third with a fastest lap. Zorzo in fourth, followed by Johan in fifth. Then it is Philip, Fede, Tales, Ian Van Unen, Flopman, Enzo, Diogo Silva, Macho, Max van der Geest, Zane, Covers, Ghost Kings, and then Dirk rounds out the top. Actually, apologies, Zorzo lost his podium on the last lap there. apologies for not covering that one. It was just everything going on, to be honest. But Zorzo actually lost his podium right at the end. We're going to see, can we get some drivers in for a post-race interview? Hopefully we can. Usually Newt joins us. Newt is going to join us. Perfect. So hopefully we can get Newt in for a post-race interview. It will be a pleasure to hear from him, as per always, your extended championship leader. We have a lot to talk about from that one, so it'll be great to hear from him. He's in the waiting room now. Let's bring in your championship leader. This is NLR Newt. Hello, Newt. You are on mute, just in case you didn't realise.
I did realize.
Hello, Newt. What a hectic race in Las Vegas. I did not expect to be talking to you after you lost your front wing on the safety car restart. I would be very confident in saying you didn't expect to finish second in that one after all that happened. What happened in that race? It was crazy from all angles.
Yeah, it's really difficult to put into words. Also, I'm sorry if I'm coughing because I still have like late symptoms of COVID. So yeah, apologies about that. But yeah, it was a pretty mad race. I kind of messed up qualifying, to be honest, but it absolutely doesn't matter on this track. The only thing that matters on this track are the last 5 laps, nothing else. So it was basically just try to survive until then. I made a few mistakes here and there. Zoso made a great move against me into the pits, which I have to point out. And yeah, I mean, it was to be expected that it's going to be chaos after such a late safety car restart. But we didn't expect Daniele to lose so much pace, or like, when the safety car comes in, everyone gets slowed down by the game. And Daniele he was pretty much standing still. So it was really difficult to avoid, and unfortunately got wing damage from that. But to be honest, it actually kind of helped me, because it was actually surprisingly easy to keep up the pace, especially with everyone around me either having worse tires or also wing damage like me. And then on the straights, I was just an absolute rocket ship, basically unstoppable. And yeah, I just kind of tried to manage it from there, try to get into the second position of the train for the last lap. And from there on, it was just, trying not to crash into the wall.
Well, we've asked, or I've asked this because I ask the same questions every week, many a time about championships, etc. You've been fairly calm about approaching it, but there's no hiding from the elephant in the room. You have a really good chance at winning this championship from here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it now. If I can get a P2 at Las Vegas, I can definitely win the championship. So, yeah, we're just gonna wait and see how the next races go. But this was by far my most feared track, so I'm really happy that it's over and that I got such a good result out of it.
I think it's a feared track from practically everyone. What was going through your
Everyone
head?
except Matthew.
What was going through your head when you saw your front wing was clipped off, and what actually happened? Because we only caught a little bit of it, but your front wing was clipped off, or at least it looked like it, on the safety car restart. What was going through there? Was it a case of, right, let's just survive this? Or was it a case of, nah, I'm good enough, I can bring this home?
Yeah, like getting wing damage on the safety car restart is usually pretty bad. But like I said, on this track, it doesn't really matter too much if you don't have downforce. And you have such a insane straight line speed advantage with a broken wing. So I knew that it was gonna be somewhat competitive still. I just didn't know if I could keep up the pace with the front runners of the train. Obviously, Daniele just flew away at the end. But I was pretty confident that I still was able to fight for the top 5 positions, especially with the chaos around. I mean, it was pretty much a guaranteed bet that it's gonna be chaos on such a late restart on such a track. And yeah, everyone just missed their braking points in the last lap and crashed into each other. And I basically just had to manage my own race and not get involved in any of that. So definitely wasn't optimal to get damage, but it also didn't really make a difference, I think, in the end, just because of how much chaos there was.
Well, Newt, thank you very much. A hard-worked P2, I think there. You certainly worked hard for that one. Everyone worked hard just to finish the race. But congratulations once again. It's a pleasure to have you back, and I'm sure on this form we will hear from you again soon.
I hope so.
Well, folks, thankfully we have the pleasure of bringing you more than just news this week. Our race winner, Danielle, has agreed to do an interview. Now, he did say his English isn't too great, so do just bear with him for a moment. But let's bring in our race winner. Hello, Danielle. Can you hear us? Or hear me, apologies.
Yes.
Firstly, PSF2 winner. Congratulations. You were the champion last season in F3, of course, but congratulations on the first win here in F2. It was a hectic race behind you, but you had it fairly simple up the front. How did the race go from your perspective?
Thank you first. And the race was quite good because the quali it can go better, but I managed to took P2, and then in the race I stayed behind Jan for all the race basically. And then I saw that Macho is spun, and so I take the opportunity after the safety car to extend the gap. So it worked, and I'm so happy with my first win in F2.
Yeah, it's a really, really good result, and congratulations on that one. Next week, we head to the Red Bull Ring. Will you be able to back it up with another win, or do you like the track?
Yes, I like the track, and I think I can get a good result even there.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. Do greatly appreciate you taking your time out and joining myself here. Thank you very much, and congratulations on the win, because that is a brilliant one.
Thank you.
We're going to have one more interview here, folks. We're going to be able to bring in Matteo for the final interview. It's been a while since we've had a full podium, but let's bring in Matteo. Hello, Matteo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, firstly, congratulations on the podium. You took it on the last lap. We didn't actually catch it on the broadcast, but how did you take it? Was it a move into the final corner?
Let's say that this was probably the craziest race I've ever done, because I had an entire front wing for like 10 laps or less over the 25 of the race. And yeah, I just had insane straight line speed for the whole race thanks to this. And even after I broke my front wing in lap 24, I think, I kept pushing because I knew I would have had insane straight line speed, as I said. And yeah, I just went for a switchback on Johan out of the last corner. Enzo spun. I don't know why, but I'll take it. And yeah, I had more ERS, and thanks to the front wing not being on my car as well, I overtook two cars in the space of a few meters.
Well, that move on Zorzo actually moves you up to second in the championship, which is really good. Of course, you won in Qatar. That's another podium here. It's Austria next week. What's on the cards for you? Are you able to take another podium there, maybe?
I don't know. Surely I gotta fix my quali, which is a bit difficult because in this period I'm quite busy with other stuff. But yeah, I will try to do my best. I've got decent pace in Austria, I think, and if I get a good quali, I know I can fight for the top positions in every race.
Of course, we had Newt speaking to us a couple of moments ago. he is the man ahead of you in the championship. Are you able to challenge him for the championship victory maybe across the rest of the season?
I think so. If I keep going like this, he is also a very fast driver, obviously. But I think I've shown that pace-wise, maybe not in quali, but pace-wise in the race, we're pretty much all up there. And surely, I think I can challenge him for the championship.
Matteo, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on another podium.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we do have time for here this evening in PSGL F2. We're going to let you go and enjoy the F1 action with James Head and Byron Hale. That is around the Las Vegas Strip Circuit once again. Chaos, a game of chance, and everything else. We had it all this evening. Join us next week. Timon will be back alongside me for round 5 of PSGL F2 at the Red Bull Ring in the Styrian Hills in Austria. It's bound to be another classic. But from myself, Evan, thank you very much for joining us. We'll leave you with a word from our title sponsors. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.